Hello, my name is Jason O, and welcome to a video where I am honoring the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. Pretty mind-boggling that I'm only a year older than the whole entire series itself. Obviously, this series started off as a video game franchise, and then it spawned off into an anime series. And so in honor of the Pokemon 20th anniversary, I'll talk about the films of this series, mostly the ones that I remember fondly as a kid. So basically the late 90s films, starting from Pokemon the first movie, all the way to the near mid-2000s, with ending with Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. After all that, I don't really know much about the Pokemon movies or the whole entire franchise itself. I stopped in the anime series around Black and White. Somewhere around there. I watched a little bit of that, but mostly to the end of Diamond and Pearl when Dawn left and we had these new characters within there. The show got a different look as well. And so mostly talk about the movies itself, Pokemon the first movie, all the way up to Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Mostly remembering Mystery of Mew as vaguely as I can, but mostly fondly remembering Pokemon the first movie and Pokemon 2000, The Power of One, mostly because I had these two films on VHS as a kid, and I just watched these films over and over again. Fun, nostalgic point of views I could see from, but looking back at it, especially Pokemon the first movie, there's a lot of flaws with all of them. Very fun flaws, and some that kind of are hypocritical to the whole entire series itself. Pokemon the first movie obviously was a big hit for me as a kid. Really just seeing these whole entire series spun off into a film series itself. It was supposed to be a series finale for the whole entire anime franchise, but the anime franchise itself grew into a big popularity. Everyone loved it, and so they decided to continue the series. And so the film itself, Pokemon the first movie, had to be changed around in order to not complete the series, because it was potentially supposed to be the series finale for the whole entire Pokemon anime series. And so luckily for some people, I guess, it didn't really stop there. And so other things about the movie itself, very much big differences between the anime Japanese version and the American version itself. The American version kind of paints a good versus evil vibe between Mew and Mewtwo, and sort of portrays Mewtwo as a tyrannical, evil person that is trying to destroy the world and conquer the world as well. However, in the Japanese version, it's more about a sort of redemption story in some sort of ways. You know, Mewtwo is trying to get acceptance within society itself, and so not a lot of good versus evil, more of ambiguity within the character, especially of Mew. Mew's character in the American version is more cutesy, a little kitty cat here and there, also leading the fight with the originals. However, in the Japanese version, Mew is portrayed as someone who is very much against clones themselves, calling them inferior, inhumane, or unnatural to society. And so Mew is very much painted into different lights in both versions as well. It's a very interesting and also weird things as well that are changed and taken out from the American and Japanese versions. I mean, even the Japanese version, lots of key details were taken out. In the beginning of the Japanese version, you have this whole entire cold opening, not really cold opening, but a whole prologue of Mewtwo being born and hanging out with this kid, and the kid dies at the end. And so obviously I don't think the American version wants to see a kid dying, especially in the 90s at that time. And so that kind of made sense, but the kid dying really helped Mewtwo's character a lot, seeing a person that was also a clone and having a loss within that person, sort of losing his humanity in some sort of ways. And so that's pretty cool ambiguity things for Mewtwo and his character, and other things as well, that Pokemon Tears actually have magical powers apparently, and that was taken out in the American version for some strange reason, because after Ash is turned to stone, Ash is brought back to life by these Pokemon Tears that actually are magical in some sort of ways, according to the Japanese version at least, but the American version kind of takes this out. And so this context of the Pokemon Tears makes no entire sense when Ash is brought back to life, and so that's a weird thing to take out from the English dub version. But I think two of the most synonymous things with this movie is the song inserted when the Pokemon are fighting, you know, brother, my brother. And so that's a really synonymous song, even though that song is not where else in the other versions of this movie. And also with the Meowths talking to each other, explaining that everyone's all the same, you know, there's no point of fighting over who's different, and all those other nonsensical things that are only in the American version, because this whole fighting is wrong moral is only placed in the American version because it's pretty hypocritical to the series itself. Dog fighting elements are in this Pokemon franchise, you know, animal abuse use as well, trainers in some sort of ways. I guess they're all friends, that's the shonen mentality. However, fighting as well is very much hypocritical to this whole entire series. So that kind of makes sense why it's nowhere else in other types of versions of this movie. And of course, there's a bunch of other fun, weird things placed in this movie as well. Ash mentions the Minnesota Vikings is an actual thing for some strange reason. I guess someone thought that was funny. One of the producers or writers thought that was going to be funny. There's also a trainer who calls his Pidgeot a Pidgeotto for some strange reason. Scyther is mistaken as Alakazam. A Sandshrew is mistaken for a Sandslash. A Nidoqueen is mistaken for a water-type Pokemon apparently. And that Nidoqueen in a different scene is replaced with a Nidoking. And I guess someone got lazy in some sort of ways because it was poorly animated scene at that point. So it kind of made sense why they would replace the colors. I guess they couldn't afford the light blue color of a Nidoqueen for some strange reason. I don't know where the budget went in that moment there. And the most hilarious part of Pokemon the first movie at the end is when Mewtwo, he has everyone gaining this lesson that we're all the same and that we all get along together. All of a sudden, he just says that I'm going to erase all your memories. We're not going to remember anything of this. And so that's pretty weird. It's pretty much like nothing ever happened within Pokemon the first movie. It's so very weird things are going on in all this. And so it transitions to one of my favorite Pokemon movies actually, not the first movie, but the second movie, Pokemon 2000 The Power of One, which is a generic chosen one prophecy type of film. It's very generic in many different senses, but it's the Pokemon version of all these generic plot devices and plot tropes here in a fantasy prophecy sort of franchise-y sort of thing here in the storyline where Ash is chosen as the chosen one to unite all the islands together, all the Moltres, Articuno, all the uniting them all together, all these islands with Lugia alongside him as well. And so pretty cool scenes and also pretty cool, different tropes put in the Pokemon sort of way with Ash, getting all his Pokemon together, riding off into these islands, trying to save the world. We also have a Slowking that can talk, and no one really questions that because I guess people are used to Meowth talking. However, while other characters see a Slowking talk, even though they never met Meowth before, and so pretty weird as well. The Slowking talking is taken without context at all, and also one of the big favorite parts of the movie for me as a kid was Melody. She was my biggest crush when I was a kid, and still her second half of the film plays no part in the movie at all. She only plays part in the first half of the movie, sort of flirting with Ash, telling him of his destiny, and all these islanders have this prophecy that Ash, his name is kind of put in there half-heartedly in the prophecies, even like, oh, I wish I was called Bob. And so Ash is placed into this prophecy, he saves the world, blah, blah, blah. You know what's going to happen, but still, I thought it was really fun when I was a kid. I see it as a nostalgic point of view there. And then in the third movie, Entei, spelled the unknown. One of the biggest things I remember about this movie is that when you go to the theater, they give you these promotional cards. They pretty much gave you promotional cards for every one of these films for the early 2000s, at least from what I remember. I remember got a Mew card, and I think they gave you like a coin for the 2000 movie, and for the third movie they gave you like an Entei card and an unknown card as well. So I was really excited at that first, seeing getting these cards before these films. And then Pichu was introduced in the third movie as well. Yeah, the Pichu brothers making their debut, really cute and very fun in the little opening shorts that there's featured in every single Pokemon movie. And so the appearance of Charizard was also a surprise as well. I guess even to the English producers, apparently they were even shocked to see Charizard come in out of nowhere. And so this is a weird story in here as well. Lots of these movies has weird stories, but even weirder here is that this little girl and her father like trapped in this house. It's all crystallized, and the dad becomes Entei, and like the daughter has to like save everyone else because Ash is about to die, but the daughter's like, no, stop fighting, dad, and all that stuff there. And so weird things going on, but Entei was really cool seeing him in a movie there, and also other legendary Pokemon featured throughout all these movies. I mean, Pokemon Forever, Celebi, Suicune. I mean, Crystal was my favorite games as a kid, and so nice to see Suicune there. Celebi more portraying the environmentalist point of view there in this movie. Pokemon Heroes, Latios and Latias is pretty cool, and that was when May was introduced, or sort of introduced in a movie sense, in a way, her movie debut there. I believe that's when she made her debut. Ash was like riding Latios and Latias in a sort of wave surfing type of way as well, so that's fun there, especially seeing Latios and Latias, cool legendary Pokemon there. And then these Pokemon movies I vaguely remember, like Jirachi Wishmaker, Destiny Deoxys, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. I think there was a sequel to Pokemon the first movie, but I don't really remember much from it. And I don't even think that's an official Pokemon movie, because on the website, for the official Pokemon website, they don't even mention that movie at all. So I guess it's not an official sequel to Pokemon the first movie. But still, I remember these films very fondly as a kid, especially getting these promotional cards you would get when you first got tickets to the film. It's so very fun, very nostalgic, obviously very weird. You can nitpick Pokemon all you want, but still 20 years, and like they just announced new games as well, so it's gonna go on for maybe even 30 years as well. And so for better or for worse, whether you still like Pokemon or not, I'm kind of into it. It's not really, you don't own a 3DS or anything like that, and so I don't really play the games anymore, but still just follow it and still just nitpick it and sort of expose from weird things that you don't really notice as a kid, but you kind of notice more when you grow up. And so what is your favorite Pokemon movie? Put your thoughts and opinions on all the Pokemon movies, whether which one is your favorite, which one is your least favorite. I'll put all that in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the Pokemon movies, about which is your favorite and why. Thank you for watching my video and celebrating the Pokemon 20th anniversary. Do you feel old just like I do? Definitely mind-boggling that this is a 20-year-old series, and I think Dragon Ball is reaching 30 years in its whole entire series, and so mind-boggling to think that these series are growing old just as you are. And so put everything in the comment section down below what you guys think about the whole entire Pokemon franchise, whether you still play it or not, still play the games, are you excited for the new games or not as well. And also don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, share this video as well, really helps me out, really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a nice day, bye bye.